All right, good morning, folks. I've been watching the some of the stuff on Kylie Rodney case, and everyone asking how could they miss the tire tracks? That there was no tire tracks there. But in some of the photos that was looking at, there was a guy standing right off that point, um, and you could see two tire tracks going into the water at the end or right before the water. Now, a lot of people are saying that's the tow truck. No, the tow truck would never go down that far. Some people were saying that's where they launched the boat to look for her, and I was like, no, that ain't where they launched the boat. Them are two tire tracks, and the guy is standing in between them, right at the edge of the water. So, what's going on? Why are they not reporting there was tire tracks when you can see them clear as day? And it's not the photos that just came out of after they pulled the vehicle out. There was tire tracks before they pulled the vehicle out of the water. Another thing, I watched the Adventures with Purpose video, how they remove vehicles that are upside down. And they flip the car over because usually it lands on its engine. That's the most heavy thing. So it's going to sink. The engine first is going to go down. But he explains they just flip it over long ways. So if that car was flipped over and the back end was in the water, underwater, and the nose of the car, the engine was pointing away from the shore, and if they flipped it back over the way that Adventures with Purpose was showing how it should be done, that car would have came out nose first. When they towed it out, it would have came out from the front end first. It didn't. When the car came out of the water, it was backwards, like it was backing out of the water. So that's kind of, how did they find it? What position? What did they do? How did they get it turned all the way around and backed out? Because the video that they were showing, they pull the front end of the car up to release the suction that it causes when it goes into the mud. So they pull it up, and then they just continue to pull the car straight up, and the engine falls. It flips it over when it came out of the water. But we really don't know what they did underwater. They might have had to move the car a couple times, but that didn't make sense to me. Now, am I saying Adventures Without Purpose is covered? No, I'm saying uh, it ain't adding up to what they were saying. How the car should be. If the car was the way it was positioned, like they were saying that it was upside down, the back end of the car was up because the motor's heavy, air pocket in the car would have went to the back of the car. So if the car was upside down and the nose was pointing away from shore, when they hooked it up to pull it up, they would have flipped the car back over towards the shore, and they would have pulled it out with the nose up, but it came out backwards, like they were backing out of the lake. So maybe they didn't do it. Maybe it was someone else that went ahead and pulled the vehicle out. Hey, I'm with Adventures with Purpose. They're a great dive team, and they found her, and they should be doing other. They should be making other dive teams like that to find these missing people and missing cars. Do I think missing uh, or Adventures with Purpose had anything to do with it, like Mr. Upchurch is talking about? No, no. We all know that the sheriff's department is not trained for underwater diving. They don't have radar systems. They don't have a lot of things. Uh, they don't have people to go out there and look in a drone, um, and to spot things. You know, so is it possible that there was tire tracks at the bottom of the lake right before the car went? It looked like it to me. The photos I seen before the tow truck was hooked up, before they pulled the vehicle out, there's a guy standing on the shore, and you can see two tire tracks going right into the lake. So, you know, how did they miss it? We don't know. They might not have missed it. We're going off of videos that YouTube creators have made. We're not going off actually evidence that the police or forensic evidence or, you know, have. They might have took photos. There was some things marked off out there, taped off. They might have spotted it, but YouTubers, they make their own videos. It's content, whether it's right or wrong. Adventures with purpose found the body. They should have called the police. The police should have came out with forensic everything. They should have taped the whole area off. Nobody walks down by the lake, and they should have photographed everything before they let anybody walk around there. And a lot of people are not seeing the mistakes, and I'm like, they shouldn't have let anybody. As soon as they got word that they found the car and there was a body in it, they should have taped off that whole area, and they should have went ahead and photographed the ground and everything. Now, they might have done that. We don't know. We might only be getting photos of when they finally found her and was pulling her out. But do I think the sheriff's department might have made a mistake? Maybe. We don't know. Maybe the sheriff's department did do their job and they taped everything off and they photographed the sand and everything. Any footprint around there, any tire track, anything. Hopefully they did that before they let all them people in. We hope they did. That's what they did. They, it's hard to believe that nobody's seen them tire tracks leading into the water. And everyone's like, well, it rained a couple. No, they don't understand. That car would have left muddy track. As soon as it hit the water, the front end would have sank in the mud. There was video of people walking around there, and they didn't even get next to the water, and they were already sinking in mud. There would have been tire tracks. If not, on the sand, I'll give them that. It rained for a couple days or whatever, so it must have washed the tire track. All right, maybe, but once the front end of that car hit the water and the mud, it would have sank. It definitely would have left evidence. And there's no current in the lake. They're like, oh, it's big current. The current probably took the water and leveled up. No, there was no current. It's not a natural fed spring lake. There's not a big current. It's not Lake Michigan like there's a up here where I live, Lake Michigan, where there's a current and it's a giant lake and it creates waves. And so, it is kind of fishy, but like I said, we don't have all the evidence as the police do. And I'm telling you, police need to step up their game. Some of these dudes are police not to be police. They're police because they work for a crooked organization and they become police. Why? So they can have one of their guys on the inside to find out what's going on, who's they're looking at, or to cover up any kind of evidence of murders. That's a proven fact. There has been police caught that were working for the mafia, that were working for gangs, getting paid by gangs, and they would alert the gangs and everything. Is it possible? It's possible. Anything is possible, folks. When you live on an earth, on a planet with Satan, every good photo to prove something, every photo to prove that this is what happened. There's 5 photos out there of saying no, it ain't. It's the yin, the yang. It's God against the devil. We won't know until they come out with it. But the photo I seen, before they even pulled the car out, while the divers were still in the boat, there was no tow truck there. There was just guys standing on shore. Yes, you can see 2 tire tracks going right down into the lake. Now, like I said, they might have already photographed all that stuff, taped it off, and then photographed anything, footprints, anything. I would have. If I was a police officer, I would have checked to make sure there was no tracks coming out, no footprints coming out of the lake. Right there, meaning, is there possible there was other people in the car and they made it out, but Kiely didn't? Anything's possible. Do I think the police are corrupt out there? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Do I think Adventures with Purpose had anything to do with this? Like Up Church is saying. I don't think so. But would if it was true, would I be shocked? No. Like I said, the government has done investigations where we thought these people were great people, but in the long run, they were sabotaging the case or the business, the company, and they were sabotaging it. No, I'm not saying that's what happened in the Kiely Rodni case at all. But do things like that happen on Earth? Yes. And you'd be a fool not to believe that. Corruption. I had to refill my coffee. I don't know if anyone would have ran her off the road, Ricky. There ain't nothing. There ain't no road out there, except for the one that leads to that lake. There's a couple branches out, but there ain't even enough room for. I don't know. Maybe she. Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking of the theory. There was video showing that there was kids out there doing donuts, but we don't know if that video is real. If it is real and they were out there in the cars doing donuts, is it possible somebody was drifting, doing donuts out there, and they accidentally hit her? Maybe. We really don't know. The only people that know actually what happened was the people that were with her or at that party. So, it is possible. Maybe someone ran her off the road, but how did the car get all the way into the lake? Where did they run her off the road if that happened? Where did that occur? And how did the car stay hidden for so long out there? If all this stuff that Upchurch and other people are, well, this could happen. Well, where did they keep the car? The car must have been kept in a garage or a some kind of an area covered up, camouflaged or something. And then after it all blew over, and they knew there was nobody watching out there or searching, they put the car in the lake. Is that possible? Yes. Am I saying that that's what happened? No. I'm saying it is possible. But in order to do that, they would have had to have the car camouflaged somehow, hidden, or parked in a resident area out there, real close to the lake, for it to happen. What do I think? I don't. It very well could be she was just intoxicated. But what I don't get is she knew that area. She's been there before. She knew that whole area out there. And I imagine she's been out there before at parties. And if she's a drinker, like everyone was saying, how did she make it home before intoxicated? She knew the area. Plus, that road that she was on has got potholes in it. It's sand, bumps and all kinds of terrain. They're saying to get back to it, you would have to be pretty much in four-wheel drive or be an experienced driver to get out there. So that does make sense. She would have been off-roading. And from what everyone says in the videos, she was very experienced at driving her vehicle and the snowmobiles and stuff like that. So that don't make sense. But is it plausible? Is it possible? Yeah. Anything's possible. For all we know, she might have been intoxicated and drunk and passed out in the back. And whoever was driving the vehicle made a mistake. They got out, but they couldn't get Kiely out or whatever, It very well may be she was intoxicated and she parked at the top of that hill right there before the lake and forgot to put the car in neutral, and it rolled down into the lake while she was sleeping. If she was so intoxicated like they're saying, is it possible? Yeah. Now everyone's asking, how did the mirror break in the dent of the side of the vehicle and the window breaking? Well, that could have occurred before or after. Meaning, once the car started, the car probably floated for so long and then went down. And it could have went down and flipped over on its side. And actually, when it was sinking or going down, floating down into the water, it hit on its side, the passenger side or the driver's side. So when the car came down, here's the car level. So when it went into the water and then it started filling up with water, the front end sinks. And then as soon as it goes underwater, what does it want to do? It wants to flip over because there's air in the tires. So the vehicle will flip. It'll start flipping. It'll start rolling over. And it's possible that the car started rolling over, but it didn't flip all the way. It landed on its side. There could have been a boulder underneath the window or the door or whatever. And when the car floated down, hit the bottom of the lake, and then it flipped over on its roof. So if there was anything when that car came down, if there was a rock, a boulder, anything, it would have blew the window out, crushed the door, or put a dent in the door, and then the car would have sat on its side, and then eventually it would have rolled over onto the hood. That's possible. Yeah, she knew that whole area. She was out there before. That's a known place where they would go party or whatever and hang out. And plus, she used to go out there with her boyfriend and drive around all the time and snowmobile and she knew that area, and she would have known if she's been out there before and drinking intoxicated. How did she get home before? She would have knew the way. I'm sure she would have knew. Hey, I made the wrong turn. But like I said, it's very well possible. Maybe she just parked her vehicle there at the top of the hill there, right before the lake there, the in-bank, and was too drunk to drive and was going to end up staying there, sleeping it off or whatever, and forgot to put the car in neutral maybe. And she thought she was on level ground, and maybe she passed out, and the next thing you know, the car rolled into the lake. Is that possible? Yeah, anything is possible. Anything is possible. The key here to this case, I believe, is if the forensic and sheriff's department did their job, and once they got that call, hey, we found the car and there's the body out here, they should have sent sheriffs and forensic teams or whatever to get out there and rope everything off, and they should have photographed everything, every footprint around that shoreline. Everything should have been photographed of any evidence, any tire track, even if it wasn't a fresh tire track, but there was a line in the sand leading to the water. They should have photographed everything. Hopefully they did their job. We're not sure yet. We won't know until they say the case is over with. They will release possibly, maybe, the autopsy. And if the autopsy shows something different, then it must, it could have been foul play. Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing. That could have been any of our daughters, sons, grandkids, wife or husband. It could have been anybody. Could have been, and that's why a lot of people are not, like I said, once you get older, once you have kids or you find out you have a kid or a grandkid or whatever, you get worried about things, and it's only natural for us to be concerned that this kind of stuff just didn't happen back when I was growing up. You didn't leave your friends behind, but see, I was raised in a military family, and was drilled that you don't leave people behind. If there's something wrong, call for help. Even if it was an accident and you've been drinking or whatever, you don't leave people behind. But it's a different world. It ain't what it used to be, folks. It's not what it used to be. And if that's the case and someone else was driving and they made a mistake and possibly Kiely was passed out in the back seat or wherever, front seat, whatever, they weren't seat belted in because they would have been in the front of the car if they were seat belted in. But the body was in the back of the car, so it must have floated, meaning it wasn't seat belted in. So the only other option I could say is she was conscious, meaning she was awake when they went in the water, and she must have undid her seatbelt to try and get out. Because if she was in the seatbelt, she would have been in there in the driver's seat if she was seatbelted in. The key here is to let the investigators do their job. Now, if the investigators look at that vehicle and they notice that the seatbelt is connected, is it possible she floated out? She was in the water for what, 14 days, 13? Is it possible she floated out of the seatbelt? If she's upside down, uh, you know, and yeah, it's possible she floated out of the seatbelt if the seatbelt wasn't really tight around her waist or whatever. Yeah, it's possible. That's why the investigators, we got to wait for them. We can make all kinds of scenarios or theories, but the evidence will tell the truth exactly what happened to her. Forensic, the autopsy will tell. No, this woman had blunt force trauma to this, to that, what, showing that, or some kind of a wound, of showing foul play, or the toxicology will come back and say, no, maybe somebody put a roofie in her drink. The toxicology and all that will show that. Yeah, my heart goes out to her family. My condolences to her family. And it always stinks when you lose a family member. I had a family member's death on YouTube, or not YouTube, social media, meaning the internet. It was all over the news. So it always stinks when you find out something like that, So what do you do? I don't know. All we could do is wait for the professionals to get done with the investigation, And I imagine the police will be investigated by the FBI. Why didn't you guys do this? Why didn't you search the whole lake? Why didn't you have teams out there? Why didn't you have dogs out there? Why didn't you have drones flying all over that, for 5 miles around that lake searching? They're going to be they're going to be behind the spotlight too. We don't want police officers on our police force that are there just to get a paycheck or to cover up crimes for the people that are really in their pockets. And it'll all be gone through, and they will find out the truth of what happened. Eventually, it might take a while, but eventually they will find out the truth. Now, am I saying the police are involved? No. Am I saying it's possible that maybe the police officers' kids might have been at that party? It's possible. Maybe someone higher up, maybe their kids were at that party. Maybe their kids were innocent, but they were at that party. Could there have been a cover up? Maybe. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying that's what happened, but is it possible? Yes. Having a cup of coffee. So, We won't know until the investigation is over with, until the autopsy is over with, and they might not even release the autopsy. That's all up to the family, maybe. Uh, but we'll have to wait, you know. We'll have to find out. And here's the thing, to rule out any kind of foul play, they would have to track all them 300 strong that was at the party. And they would have to go through their phone data to make sure they weren't talking to other people. You know, it's a everybody loves a mystery. You know, is it possible these things could have happened? Yes. In my opinion, yes. Could it have been she was lured there? It's possible. We don't know. You got to wait until the investigation is all over. And this is going to take time because you got phone data you got to go through. And you got to track all them people down that were at the party. You know? And I feel for if any of the people that were at that party and had nothing to do with it, but they were there, and maybe they were related to the police, or maybe a higher up businessman or a judge or whatever. I feel for them people because they probably didn't have anything to do with it. They were just there at that location at the wrong time, wrong place, and wrong time to be there. And, you know, they might have seen what was going on. Now, I've seen photos of them kids at the party, and in the back, you can see lights, and they look like either they're, I don't know, could it be the lights of Kylie's vehicle underwater? It could be. Don't know. For one, why would Kylie be driving around out there with her headlights off? That don't make sense. People are like, well, why didn't you see the headlights and everything? Who knows? We don't know. Let them do their investigation. And when it's all over with, they will release exactly what happened. It could have been something as simple as she was intoxicated, disoriented, maybe a roofie, maybe something she hasn't done before, and she got disoriented and she made the wrong turn and just accidentally drove into the lake and she couldn't get out. It's possible. Let them do their job. We don't know if Ryan Upchurch is wrong or not. Only the people that, if there was a crime committed or covered up, only the people that are doing the cover up and did the crime or knew about it would know what happened. And that's why a lot of people are coming down and questioning Upchurch, you know, and saying, what do you mean you know what happened to her? And these people know what happened. Only the people that created the mess would know exactly what happened to little Kylie. Does that make sense to anybody? We might be dealing with another nut job that is creating this mess just to taunt police or or somebody. We don't know yet. Let the investigator, let the FBI, CIA, Homeland, whoever's involved, the sheriff's department and stuff, let them find out if this was all created to divert people. And they will. The sheriff's department will. Maybe that's why they wanted to talk to Upchurch. Maybe Upchurch was telling people one thing, but the evidence was showing something else. Therefore, maybe they wanted to talk to him about that. Uh, anything's possible. We don't know. We'll have to wait until it's all over with. Am I leaving the crime community? Well, everyone's saying you're not a crime channel. No, I'm a music movie channel, but I do watch crime, and I've been watching crime channels ever since the Delphi killing out here where I live. And there's been numerous girls down south there and around here that have come up missing, and they've been tracked to this drug cartel gang prostitution or whatever it is, bikers and or whatever, this little clique of gangs that they have out here in Indiana. So, you know, is it possible that she just was drunk and made a mistake and drove into the lake? Yeah. Is it possible she parked on top of that hill there and just passed out in the back? Forgot to put the car in neutral, maybe. Maybe she did pass out. Maybe someone did put the car in neutral and rolled it off of the thing. We don't know. The investigators will tell. The little black box in the vehicle will tell, hey, this car was at 45,000 or 4,500 RPMs, and then we had a massive shift in the transmission, massive shift in the transmission, showing that somebody put something on the gas pedal and had a hard shift in the drive. The computer will show that on there. This car was revving at $5,000, and then it made a heavy shift. We had a hard shift in the transmission. It might be able to show all that. That car, that computer in that car might be able to tell if she braked. We got a massive brake here, hard on the brakes, or it might show there was no brakes. We're not showing, the computer's not showing any braking or anything like that. It'll tell. Let them do their jobs. We can make our scenarios up. We can make our theories up. But most of all, when you make these videos, you have to tell your watchers in YouTube that we don't know that is actually what happened. We're just making a theory or an assumption of what happened, and that's it. That's all we can do. All we could do is say, is it possible something like that could happen? Yes. That's the only thing we can do. You can't come out and say, we know what exactly happened. No, only the people that created the mess know exactly what happened. Only the authorities will know. The evidence will show exactly what happened. That's the bottom line. For all we know, FBI, CIA, and Homeland Security was tracking people's phones. And maybe that's why they want to talk to Upchurch. We don't know. Have they been tracking phones and computers? Yes. Yes. YouTube sent me all kinds of stuff, and Facebook through my emails. Someone's trying to log into your account from an i12 phone all the way down to a 3 and a 4. I mean, it was like 12 people, 12 different phones. And I kept telling, that you want us to report this? Yeah, report it. Find out who's trying to log into my accounts. And then finally, I stopped getting them. So they must have been doing some and then I got a phone call from somebody that I have no idea who it was. All I heard on the other end is, "Can we talk about this?" I was like, "No, I'm done talking. You people have stole, raped, pillaged enough in this country. No talking about it. No, it's out of my hands. There's nothing I could do." And this is the problem we have in our country. You people want your freedoms. And then when these people steal everything you want, everything you got, or they hack into your computer or whatever, and you know, America's got a lot of work to do, folks. I love this country, but if you're going to call this country the best, you got a lot of work to do, folks. A lot of work to do. For one, we're too lenient on our stars. We really are. You know, we got to start holding these people and authorities. If you're going to lock up a person, a citizen, for smoking a doobie on the corner or whatever, give them 5, 10 years, it's time to come down on these people that are rich. You know, they never do any time. Very rarely. You know, what do? They open up their bank book and they start cutting checks. And that's pretty much it. And then they come up with all kinds of lies. And then a fake computer. And I keep telling people, you know, if I can take information off of that computer, if I can take information off of that phone that you have in your hand, then I can put fake data on that phone or that computer. And people they just don't comprehend. They don't want to. They just don't. It's impossible. No, if you can take data off of my hard drive, I can put fake data on that hard drive showing something totally different. And people were shocked. What are you talking about? Well, what don't you people understand? Why do you think these people have 13, 20 phones? Well, in case they get caught, they throw that phone away, they got another one. That's just my thoughts, my opinion. People are being bought on YouTube right now. Channels are being bought. People, I believe, are being bribed to be on a certain side. And maybe that's why they want to talk to the police. Maybe all these, Upchurch now is saying the only crime channel he likes is Sav Girl. Why? Is he related to Sav Girl? Is an Upchurch like Elvis Presley? And he married a woman that looked like his mother. Is Brian Upchurch like Sav Girl because she kind of looks like his mother? I don't know. This is freaky stuff. A lot of us been talking. A lot of us been thinking, what is going on here? He's got this infatuation with Elvis. He keeps saying he knows more about Elvis than anybody, or this is freaky stuff, folks. This is stalker stuff. This is stuff we look for, when you're a investigator. These people. I love music. I love Elvis, but I ain't gonna marry a woman that looks like my mother. That's kind of sick. I love my mother, but I don't want to be looking at my mother in bed. Do you people understand the madness? It could be inbred. It might be everything we thought it could be. We don't know. It's freaky, though. I can tell you that much. Definitely freaky. I'm like, oh, we live on a sick planet. I think the Lord dropped me off on the Lord picked me back up and put me on Earth 2 that we found, the real Earth. This is madness. Everyone loves their mother, but they don't want to wake up in the morning and roll over and be looking at their mother. And did they say that about Elvis? Yes, a lot of people said he loved his mother, and Priscilla at a certain time looked like his mother. You know, he needed that mother figure in his life. I don't know. That's some freaky stuff. Yeah, Raphael. People were saying that Elvis had a real close relationship with his mother. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, folks? This is too freaky for me. But anyways, we don't know what's going on. We don't know why the police want to talk to Ryan Upchurch. Maybe they want to give him the key to Placer City or whatever. We don't know. But I do know this. They seem to pamper these rich people. You know, we don't know. Like I said, only the killers know exactly what happened, or only the investigators know exactly what happened in a crime. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe Upchurch's all the scribbling and the de-scrambling of names and him writing his letters. Maybe somebody with some intelligence looked at that scribbling that he was doing and said, bingo, we want to talk to him in Indiana for the Delphi murders. Maybe somebody with some cojones said, King, it's matching up here in his handwriting and all this decoding that he does, and who don't unscramble words. You know, that's what happens. That's what people do that get so wrapped up into stuff they start seeing things and other things. And these people are like, it's a God-given gift. And I'm like, no. Do you folks think Zodiac the killer had a God-given gift? I mean, come on, people. Look at that giant hawk out there. Well, no, that's that might be a chicken hawk out there, or it might be a buzzard. The plot thickens. It does thicken. We have our scenarios. Do we know it's fact? No. We don't know if it's fact until we get the evidence. The police and investigators might come back and say, this is exactly what happened. And we want to talk to a lot of people. And I feel for the kids that were out there and had nothing to do with nothing. They were out there to party. We've all done that. But here's the difference between the way I was raised and that raised. I was raised, if there was an accident, you call the police, you call somebody help. It was an accident. You know, this is what happened. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean any. It was an accident. And 9 out of 10 times, when the person that comes forward and says it was an accident, you know, they they're more lenient with them people. Um, but we're not seeing that. You know, maybe someone will come forward and say, "This is what happened. We were out there. We had nothing to do with it. She left with these people. They were intoxicated or whatever, and they, you know." But just to leave someone out there and not say anything, that itself is a crime. That itself is a crime. If you knew someone was out there and needed help and you just left them, and then the police find out, hey, you were out there and you didn't call and didn't say anything, you know, uh, that itself uh, is a crime, I believe. But like I said, I was raised differently. If a friend was hurt, you stuck up for him at a fight. If somebody got hurt, you ran and you got help. If somebody was on fire, you put them out if you can. Today's world, it's every man for themselves. You know. So, if I was lead investigator on that case out there? I would start bringing in these people, all 300 of them. Why? Well, there's got to be some photo of her being there, some kind of proof. You know, photos. Maybe people that were there. Yeah, she was drunk. We got one person saying she was drunk, or a couple people saying that she was drunk, intoxicated. We don't know if they're making that up or she actually was there drunker than a skunk or whatever. There's people saying that she was drinking before she got to the party. We don't know. You know, we have no idea what little Kylie was like behind closed doors. Behind the spotlight. We don't know. She could have been a alcoholic. She could have been a lot of things. We don't know, and we won't know until the investigation is over with. But for these people to come out and say, well, they think they know what happened to her, and well, only the killers or the person that was there or the people at the party know exactly what happened. And they'll probably know the whole time frame, you know. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, there was a big group of people that left all at once. Okay. And maybe she left with them. All right. Then she would have followed them. And if that's the case, you better start looking for a whole bunch of cars because it must have been follow the leader. They all must have just drove into the lake, right? No, it ain't making sense. Some of the stuff, uh, and let me tell you, folks, this: if you have a teenage daughter, you make sure you train her and you drill it into her brain that you don't stay behind at a party with a bunch of drunk guys and you don't do things for money or drugs. And when your friends leave, you leave with your friends. And if your friends don't want to leave and you don't feel comfortable there or you're scared or something like that, leave the party and tell your friends, hey, I'm leaving. If you guys want to ride, I'm leaving. I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to be here no more. And that's it. I got to get home. And if they don't want to leave with you and they find other rides, then leave. Don't stick around there and give these animals, and some of these kids might have been wild, crazy. Who knows? I got theories floating in my head. What happened to this young lady out there? Everyone, the first thing we get into our brains, is we run through scenarios of what possibly could happen. And I hope these investigators are good. I hope they even check for a rape kit. I hope they check her for all kinds of stuff. Was this young lady raped? Was it anything? Now, here's my problem with the police department and some of these videos that are coming out. This could have been just an accident. Yes, they are correct. But always check to make sure that there was not foul play involved. Always. And a lot of people are pissed. What do you mean a rape kit? A rape kit to make sure that this young lady wasn't raped or something, or maybe she was with a man and had sex and something went wrong. The possibilities are relentless. It'll drive you mad going through the scenarios of what could have happened. Anything is possible. I hope the police are doing their job, FBI and forensic teams and everybody. I hope they don't just say, well, she just was drunk and drove her car into the lake. No, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear that you ran every test, toxicology, rape kit, everything. And if you run everything and you come back and say she wasn't raped, she had only alcohol in her system, and we think she just made a mistake and drove into the car, then I will say, okay, sir. Okay, if you, the best of the best, went through the autopsy and toxicology and forensic, and they said this was just an accident, all right, I will deal with that. But what I won't deal with is going to bed and thinking, did they do everything they could? Did they treat it as just an accident? So they didn't do a rape kit on her, or they didn't dig underneath her fingernails or anything because they just said, well, it's just an accident. No, you got to go through everything to make sure it wasn't just an accident. In my opinion. My weather radio's going off.
During periods of potentially severe weather, special receivers are activated to warn of the impending hazard. Tests for these receivers are normally conducted by the National Weather Service every Wednesday between 11 a.m. and noon.
Wednesday, between 11 and noon.
On Wednesday, the test will be postponed until the first available good weather day. Reception of this broadcast and the warning alarm will vary at any given location.
So, what do I think? I think they better do their jobs. The whole world's watching. You know? The whole world is watching. Now, people saying that Adventures with Purpose might have diverted the police so they can find a vehicle and be superstars. I don't know about that. Now, is it possible? Once again, I'm going to tell you, anything is possible. Do I think that's what happened? No. No. You know, but could it have happened? They might have pulled some strings or whatever, and yes, anything is possible, folks. Anything is possible, and that's the world we live in.
Now here is your forecast.
Yeah.
Afternoon, sunny. Highs around 80.
Anything is possible when it comes to being the hero. The anything is possible.
West wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny. Highs around 80. East wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Thursday night, mostly clear.
I had to shut that weather radio off. So, yeah, anything is possible in this world when it comes to evil and good. You'd be shocked what people will do for money. You know, and that's the problem. The investigators got to go through everything and find out what happened. You know, was there an argument there? Did she get beat up or whatever. I don't. They'll have to go through everything, and they'll find out. Do we know if we don't know. Is it a cover up? I have no idea. Would it shock me if it was a cover up? No, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, come on. The government has been screaming, "Hey, we got a problem in our country. It's the greatest country." Well, yeah, it's the greatest country. You know, uh, for certain people, yes. Yeah. It's a problem. What we're seeing is these organizations, gangs, biker clubs. They're running the country. The prisons are running the country, and a lot of us are sitting back going, "What is going on? Well, what are they? What are they doing?" I don't know. Maybe the government's paying these people to do this stuff. We don't know. Illuminati. Well, anyone that's rich is an Illuminati dude. You know, the rich and the powerful. You watch on YouTube, who are they? The Illuminati. The rich and powerful. You know. No, I don't think it has anything to do with the Illuminati, but you know, who knows? Listen, I've been screwed over my whole life. So when people come to me and say, "Hey, this is what happened," shocking, ain't it? Nope. No, it's not shocking. If you've seen the things I did, no, anything is possible. These people will use you and make billions, billions off your ideas, thoughts, whatever. This whole thing is cuckoo. Uh, does it happen? You bet your butt it happens. Why are people so dumb? I don't know. Brainwashed, possibly. Chemically induced, maybe. I don't know. Uh, it's not good, I can tell you that much. And they become gangs. Literally, these rich people have their own military, and they're buying your kids, your teenagers, to go out into the streets and do their bidding for them. Uh, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. But see, this is what I don't get. Why didn't they go out there looking for her when she never showed up at home that night? That night, why did they not go out there? Why didn't her parents call the police and say, "My daughter was supposed to be home 2 hours ago and she is not home yet. Can you please put a bolo out or whatever? Can you go out to whatever?" But then again, their parents might not have knew where she was. She might not have said, "Hey, I'm at the lake at a party." You know, why didn't the next day they surround that lake in that area looking for her? I don't know. You would think parents, she didn't show up. They wake up in the morning and their daughter's not home and her car's not there. You think they would have called the police. "My daughter's missing. She was at a party and she was with her friends and she never came home." Well, there's a lot of questions people are asking, but then again, it falls back on manpower at the police departments. They're underpowered. That's why I want my drones flying in the sky, watching everything. And if it saved one person's life, it was worth it. If it saves one kid's life, the drone paid for itself. If it saved one person from dying on the street, or if it saved, if it solved a case, this is what happened. They couldn't figure out, well, we had a drone in that area and we pulled up the footage on it, and man, it shows this. Here's a car here, and here's, if we had cameras everywhere, if we had drones in the sky, if it if it if it solved one case and put the person to rest and their families to rest, that this is what happened, although it was gory and horrible or whatever, this is actually what happened, and we found your daughter, we know what happened. It eases the family and the parents. You don't want them to grieve their whole life not knowing what actually happened to their family. You know, it would pay for itself. I would have been pulling up satellite dish. Was there a satellite over that area at that time? Was there a satellite over that area the the day after this? Was there any evidence of people around there? You got to go through everything. And you know, I don't know. Do we launch a satellite just for crime, just to watch, or do we put drones in the sky and they just hover in areas, low flying drones, and they're filming everything in case of an accident, in case of a death, in case of a kidnapping? You want to be the best. You got to think like the best. But then again, we'll have people knocking on our doors saying that that's against the law. It's against our constitutional right. But then their daughters or their children come up missing, and you see them on the news. Oh my God, how could this happen? It's a catch 22. And then they want to blame people. Well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't the government do this? We're trying to. You folks want your constitution and your freedoms over safety and your families at home at night. I want a military where my military men come home to their families and kids at night. But you always got that one person out there, or them millions of people out there. Constitute, you can't be filming us, and I'm not filming you. I'm watching for evil. And when that evil strikes, we will be able to tell this is what happened. And we might be able to lock the evil up that committed it. You understand? You people have enough freedoms already. We're not trying to take your freedoms. We're trying to save our children's lives and our teenagers' lives and wives. And these people are just walking up and walking right into people's houses and kidnapping people. They're driving down the road shooting at each other. They're driving down the road and pull up to a sidewalk and they grab people right off of the street and take off. And people would rather have their freedoms. But then we always see them after something bad happens, asking, how could this happen? Why? Why didn't we do this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to make this the greatest country ever. But it's hard to do when we're fighting against constitutional people. And And you can't put a beacon on my car so you know everywhere I'm going and everything. And yeah, I don't care where you go. But see, when that car, an accident happens or a carjacking or you get kidnapped, we can track the car and find the vehicle. If the vehicle goes off the road in the mountains and into a snowbank, it sends off a beacon. We can find the vehicle. If it goes underwater, we can find the vehicle right away. And people, you can't do that. You can't. All right, we can't. Then we'll take our technology to another country that wants to be safe. You ain't got a country. If they're killing them off one by one, if they're having accidents and no one can find out what happened, you know, you ain't got no country, folks. You got a zoo. That's what you got. America has become the prison for the rest of the world. We got all the people that other countries said, yeah, you're cuckoos. And they come to America. And then it's supposed to be freedom of speech. It is not freedom of speech, folks. If you got millions, then it's freedom of speech. When are you folks going to realize that? You know, laws are only for certain people. Well, people doing time for smoking a doobie, a roach in the ashtray. Why, somebody that's been connected with associations have been murdering 50, 60 people walking the street. Come on, folks. America has let the evil take over. And you got to get it under control or you're going to have madness. You know, these people are upset. You can't kill a mafia boss, but they're starting to kill these people. You know, the Italians are, I hear people saying, well, they're killing people. Well, you know, it was just a matter of time before people stood up and said, yeah, we really don't care if you're a mafia boss and we don't live by your laws. You know, and they're doing these things. It's like we're we're a biker organization, and you don't do, you know. Listen, these people don't care if you're biker organ. You got numbers, and that's it. The power is in numbers. They got thousands of them, you know, in these gangs or whatever. You know, that's their power. It's in numbers, and they're just letting them run the streets. I just watched the video yesterday. They shut down Chicago again. Out there, you know, shutting down the whole street, doing donuts in the street and everything, and in the middle of the city. Uh, you know, we just didn't do stuff like that. If you had a party, you went somewhere. Uh, if the party got too big, you had to break the party up because the police would be out there. Good morning, Ombek. How is your morning going? How was your live last night? I got tired. I had to go to sleep. I think I went to bed at probably about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. It is very frustrating to find that. You know, I don't know what I would do if something like that happened to my family and they couldn't find their daughter. You know, that's why I try and tell these people on YouTube, you know, you're a beautiful woman, and if you are on camera and you're doing things, you're attracting men. And when you attract men, you're going to have to be ready for people to comment in your chat sexual things if you're acting sexual. then men that watch YouTube will become sexual in their chat rooms, in their live chats and stuff. Some women do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I try to explain to these women is you have to be safe, because some of the men that watch you, they want to act out their fantasies, you know. There's some sickos out there, folks. You have to be safe. If you're letting, I've been into it, not Ombek. Ombek is very good. Very nice lady. But other chats I've been in, some of these ladies are very sexual when they dance. Okay. And they get men in their chat rooms and they just start, it's YouTube and they're talking about take your clothes off and show us something. And I try and explain, I just, this ain't good. You're encouraging these people to have thoughts, and we don't, it's not 1970, it's not 1960 of love and free love or whatever, it's not the 80s, it's 2022, and these people, they act out their fantasies. They don't know fantasy from reality. Beck, I hope your back is feeling better. Beck has a channel you guys should check out. She sings, dances, disco lights, all kinds of lights. Plus, she has a job that she has to work. So she does YouTube and her job. Very, very strong lady, very good lady. But you have to be careful. If you go to a party and you're dressed very sexual, like you are putting that out, that you're a very sexual woman, and some of these people are kids or teenagers or even men. They see it as they want you to have sex with them or whatever. It's very, very, very deceiving. There's a time for dressing very sexual, and it's not going to a party with 300 men or 300 horny teenage boys. That you don't want to do that. You want to dress sexual. You dress sexual behind closed doors where you're safe. You want to drink and get so drunk that you pass out. You do stuff like that at home, not with 300 horny teenage boys around. I'm trying to just help a little bit. I know people, you're an idiot, shut up. I know. I'm just trying to explain the world has changed. You just have to be careful. And it's not, it's just, I care. And I really shouldn't care because I don't know these people, but you try and help them out. Hey, if you're doing that, there's men out there or teenagers that, that got problems. Does anybody agree with that? Probably not, because I know what people are going to say. Well, it's that young lady has the right to dress that way. You're right. She does, or whoever, any woman has the right to dress that way. But I'm giving you from a man's point of view that some of these men can't control their urges, and they want to live out their fantasy or their sexual fantasies. And automatically in their brain, you're dressing like you're real sexy and, and they see it and say, oh, I'm going to sleep with this girl tonight, whether she likes it or not. That's the world that we're living in right now. It's not like when I was growing up. If a girl said no, she wasn't interested, she wasn't interested. Today, they got it. They're dyslexic. When a girl says she's not interested, the boy thinks she is, and then just starts doing whatever to her. I don't know. You have to be safe. That's all I'm saying, ladies. That's all I'm saying. Be safe. Not every man is like me. Not every man realizes things like I realize. You know, um, I've been accused of everything under the book. I've been called every name. And some people got it right. They lied. Jealousy. You know, it's a big thing right now. You know, that's all I'm saying. And I'm waiting for the toxicology and autopsy and everything to really find out what happened to uh, Kylie, and the Delphi girls. They won't release the full amount of video or recording because the police said that they believe that the girls succumbed to death on them recordings. Um, that it was too gory for people to watch. And in the beginning of Delphi, we were all led to believe that there was 39 minutes of footage, but now they're saying there's only 39 seconds. And I'm like, who made the video saying that there was 39 or 40 minutes of video and recording or voice recording of the Delphi case? And now they're trying to say, well, no, that's it. There was only 30. Well, then how do the police know that it was so gory and won't release the rest of the recording because they said it was too gory and the girls succumbed to death on that recording? It ain't making sense. Either the girls succumbed to death on that video or that recording of the Delphi killer, or somebody's out there making fake videos. I don't know. I don't know. But all we could do is wait, and we'll see what happened to Kylie. And why do they want to talk to Upchurch? Who knows? Probably to give him a medal. But probably to give him a badge, like they gave Elvis Presley a badge. This is, really, when a psychologist would look at this and go, yeah, there is something seriously messed up with this world. Maybe Upchurch solved the whole case and they want to give him a Placer Lake Sheriff's badge or something. Who knows? Ain't none of my business. Is it kind of suspicious why they wanted to? Well, sure. Why were they posting on his video? check your DM, or we need to talk to you, or contact us, or who knows. You know, we don't know. But can we make this country safe? More safer than what it is? Yes. But then we'll be battling against our own people, because we'll have people out there saying it's against the Constitution and it's against our rights. All right, then we don't want to hear. See, we can stop crime before it happens. We can stop a lot of things before it ever goes so far. But then we'll have these conspiracy constitutional people out there screaming that it's against their rights, and they yeah, a lot of the crimes could have been stopped way before it even occurred, but then we would be infringing on their constitutional rights. And folks, if you haven't realized that, it's a catch 22. We are danged if we do, and we are danged if we don't. And a lot of people are getting tired of living this way. And a lot of people are moving. They're moving to areas where they just don't want the madness. Uh, and they're moving to a lot of countries that just ain't got the problems that America has. Uh, like I said, I love this country, but there's a lot of room for improvement in this country. And a lot of people now are waking up, and they're starting to say that our government does not want us to be safe. It's all part of population control. It's all part of the rich survive and the poor die. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Only God has all the answers. Only God knows what happens to Kylie. Only God knows what happened to Delphi. Only the authorities that have the evidence and proof know what happened to Kylie. Only the people that were at the party or with Kylie know exactly what happened. We don't know. And I'll tell you what, it's no wonder some of these women on YouTube are single. They are so wrapped up into crime and crime investigation and this whole crime thing. They ain't got time for a man. They ain't even got time to take care of some of these people are being claimed that they ain't even taking care of their own kids right, because they're so wrapped up into crime and YouTube. Is it possible they're telling the truth? Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it. It's like a drug. YouTube is becoming like a drug. I admit it. I'm hooked myself. There's days I do nothing but sit on this couch and watch YouTube channels of crime and stuff. And then it's almost like an entity or a demon or something. And the next thing you know, you got a pile of dishes, or you got a pile of laundry that's sitting there because you just did, yeah, it happened. What do a lot of these people are recovering addicts, and they need something to take the edge off. So they watch YouTube, or they do YouTube crime stuff, or I don't know. It's if you're a psychologist, you're looking and you're saying, yeah, well, you're just giving up this addiction for another addiction. You know, folks, if you're watching porn 24/7 and you're painting the walls of your home or whatever all day, all night, you got a problem. You know, if you watch porn once in a while and you're single, you don't have a problem. But if you're watching it at work, you're watching it every minute of the day, at night, whatever, you're whacking the old baloney or whatever 20, 30 times a day, you got a problem. It's like if you're shooting heroin or something all day, all night, you got a problem. You got an addiction. And power is an addiction. Money is an addiction. Fame is an addiction. And everybody wants to be a superstar on YouTube. Everybody wants millions and millions of subs and views and, you know, they all want it all. My channel ain't doing good. My God, I lost 200 subs or whatever, and now I'm down to only 1 million. Oh my God, it's heartbreaking. And they're on there. I can't believe, where are my subs going? Why is it? It's so dramatic. So I don't care. Like I said, if I woke up tomorrow and I looked on my channel and it said 0 subs, I'll still be playing the guitar. I'll still be singing. I'll still be making videos because it don't mean anything to me. It's just something to have fun and something to relieve my stress. And my YouTube is like a psychiatrist for me. I'm not paying $200 an hour to lay on someone's couch. I can turn the YouTube on and vent, voice my opinion, whatever. And hey, I'm done. Click the video off and I'm good. See, these folks, some of these kids today and teenagers and men, they just can't control their urges or their fantasies. My opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have that opinion. But see, our country now, if you voice your opinion, there's a good chance you can get killed for it. For just voicing your opinion, for just acting like you're a tough guy or whatever, can get you killed. We got a problem in our country, folks. We've let a bunch of barbarians run it. We got a bunch of military people that have come back from slaughtering people, the power that they have. And now they don't have that power no more because they're not in the military. So now they need that power. They need to feel the power to kill. And now what are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a lot of military guys doing bad things. It's evil to me. And I love this country and I love the military, but it is a problem within the military. They go away, they go into war, they have power, they're takers, they're life breakers, heart takers, life takers. And you turn that switch on, and that switch stays on until they come home. But eventually, they want that power again. They want that thirst. And the next thing you know, they're out doing things they shouldn't be doing because it's a drug. Power. They're out hunting people. They're out doing things they wouldn't do if they were in the military. They're stuff they military is okay. Going out and wiping out 400 or 500 people in a blaze of glory or whatever. Well, that's looked up to in the military. You're somebody. I don't know. I've been watching too much stuff, psychoanalysis and this stuff, and all this stuff about power and the thirst and that these people have. Then they come home and they're nobodies. They're nobodies. They don't have that rank. They don't have that power no more that they did. You know, I don't know. We're in deep crap as a civilization, as a country. We got to revamp, and we got to revamp fast. We got to overcome and adapt in our country. To be the best, you got to act the best. You got to have the best technology. You got to have everything, folks. Do they tap people's phone? They tap my phone. They tap everybody's phone. Good. You know, don't bother me. Why? Because I don't commit crimes. I might fly off the handle and I'll kill that guy. But saying something like that and doing it are two totally different things, folks. Two totally different things. No, that's just my opinion. Thank God they did find that young lady, but it's an ongoing case. And it will continue to go on until the police come out and say, this is what happened. It was a simple accident, or the police will come out and say, we believe there was foul play, and this case is going to be investigated. And this is what we need. We need these people to give themselves up. If they come in and talk, we'll cut a deal with them, whatever. But they'll find out what happened to her. And anybody watching trying to call me, you can call, but you usually should use or leave a message. I do have caller ID, so I can tell exactly who's calling. But when you call people, you should leave a message. You really should, because
We are unavailable to take your call. Please leave a
now you're
message.
looking
And thank you for
suspicious.
calling.
And they just hang up. Yeah, it's suspicious. That's why, hey, you know, do whatever. Track my phone. Do whatever. Just find these idiots. That's all I'm saying. Uh, yeah, all this stuff up church, up the South of Rising. Now I was watching Benny Keys' Blood Money the other day, and he was talking about Upchurch, and he's Upchurch is a racist. He's got the flag tattooed on his body and his house. He's got the rebel flag, and you know, old Benny was saying Upchurch is going to take that flag right to the grave, and I was like, whoa. It's little things like that people overlook. They overlook it. This whole thing, the salt's going to rise again. This whole war that was going on between, people thought there was a war between Leonard Skinner and Neil Young back in the day. There was no war. Ronnie Van Zant liked Neil Young, and Neil Young liked Leonard Skinner, the band. But everybody came out and said, my God, they must hate each other. And no, they didn't. It was music. They were talking through music. You know, Leonard Skinner don't even want anything to do with the Confederate flag or rebel flag or whatever it is. That's saying a lot. When Leonard Skinner says we don't want to be associated with that flag, we are a Southern band. They even came out and said they made a mistake, and they don't fly that flag no more. They fly the American flag. And they even said we are from the South. They were Florida. They weren't Tennessee. They weren't down South Texas, or they were Southern boys from Florida. I was out there for a couple of years, out there in Jacksonville, Florida area, working. They don't even want anything to do with it anymore. At one time they did, but not anymore. And I give them praise for that, because they came right out and said, hey, Leonard Skinner is about music, lyrics, and we don't want to be associated with that. I give them thumbs up for that. You know, they didn't hate each other. Ronnie Van Zant liked Neil Young, loved his lyrics and his music, and Neil Young loved Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner was a machine, folks. I don't care what anybody says. They had three guitar players playing three different parts, and it was a machine. They knew it. The whole world knew it. And so many other bands were machines. Led Zeppelin, they were machines. All kinds of bands. Pink Floyd, all of them. We create our own disaster in our country. North against the South, South against the North, West against the East. I'm like, this is America. There should be no North, South, East, or West. You folks have created and divided this country with this North against the South, the West against the East against. It's a country. There is no North, South, East, or West. It's a country. We should all be together. And that's the problem. We are fighting ourselves. And that's why a lot of people are picking up and they're leaving. Business is picking up. It's too risky to start a business. They'll probably burn it down or ransack it or, you know, corrupt it or whatever. It's too risky. It's too risky. And if they do start a business or whatever in America, uh, they're always wondering, will it be here tomorrow? You can't even go grocery shopping anymore in this country. Grocery shopping. You can't even go to the grocery store without fear of being killed. This is unbelievable. You can't even go to church without people. Yeah, I would say it's an infestation in our own country. And can we stop it? Oh, we can stop it. We can make these people's heads spin. But our hands are tied. Our hands are tied. It is a system that is constantly battling itself. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, all this crap. Constantly battling itself. At war with itself. This is straight out of biblical. This is biblical stuff. Hold on a minute. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Had to go to the bathroom. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, why didn't you just take your camera into the bathroom with you? Because I got morals, people. I don't need to be taking people into the bathroom with me to take a dump. This is what kind of society are we with? I have no idea. But you have to remember, it's all on where you were raised. If you were raised down south and you live down south, well, marrying a 13-year-old girl is nothing. Taking a dump while you're on the phone or whatever, and videotaping it while you're in there taking a dump, pinching a loaf. That's the way they were raised. That's the way the whole thing is. In certain parts of the country, uh, it all depends on how you were raised. You know, I don't know, but I got a couple things to do around here. Um, so I'm going to get off this contraption. Excuse me. I will be back. Um, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Riley or Kylie Rodney case. Let's wait for the investigators to say this is what happened, and this is the timeline, and this is what we believe happened to her. And they'll come out and say, we think there was foul play, or they'll come out and say, we believe that there was no foul play, and if this was an accident. Let's wait to see what the police do. Hey, listen, adventures without purpose, founder. Now let the authorities try and figure out what's going on or what happened. I top my hats to Adventures with Purpose for finding her. Now, this whole thing that Upchurch and everybody now is coming out that Adventures with Purpose diverted the police so they can find her to be the hero and the superstar. I don't know if that's true or not. We hope to God that these people on earth are not that evil to do something like that. I don't think they did, but you look at it, you sit back and look at it. Well, anything's possible, but I don't think so. Uh, they found her. Hats off to her. Great team. We need more teams like them. We need them to train people to read radar, stuff like that. The sheriff's department don't have underwater radar systems. Yeah, they just don't have that. And people, well, I can't believe the sheriff's department missed it. They don't have trained divers to go down and look. They probably, if they did look, they probably got a hold of Joe at the bait shop out there somewhere, whoever. Can you go down and look for a vehicle? Sure can, Sheriff. They're not trained for that. You know, I don't know. Maybe they are. If they are, then maybe they made a mistake. But at least someone did find her, you know, and that's good. That's all I could say. God bless. Glory goes to God because nothing is done without God knowing about it. God knows all. You know, if we go by the Bible, God knows everything. And then you're going to have them people out there. Why did this happen? And well, God, there must have been a reason God wanted her. You start looking at this. The psychologist pointed to. Look, come on, think about this. You know, what are we dealing with here? I know it's God wants us in one hand to live life, to have everything, to be good and love people, but then all of a sudden people are saying, well, God wanted it this way. Right? If God didn't want this, she'd still be alive. We don't know. How do I know? I ain't God. I don't know. All right, you folks be safe. Have a good day. We don't know nothing until the police are done with the investigation. Then we will find out what happened. Till then, it's a guessing game. We can run through all kinds of scenarios. We can run through all kinds of theories and everything, but really when you look at it, it ain't it ain't gonna tell what happened until they find her and the investigation is over with. And yes, I do agree with some YouTube channels that this could have been just a simple accident. It could have been. We won't know until they're done. Yeah, the police are still investigating Dave's mic stand. Yeah, I heard that story. Yeah, poor Dave. Nah, well, I'm sure he's innocent of holding his mic stand. You know? But people see things differently. You know? But thank God there was no altercation with Dave, you know, walking out to get his mic stand out of the car, and someone said he had a rifle, and then the police showed up. It was a mic stand. But to kids or teenagers or whatever that don't know anything about equipment, could they have went ahead and thought it was a rifle? Sure. They could have went ahead and mistaken identity. It looked like a rifle or whatever. Yeah, it happens. You know. Uh, yeah. The only thing that saved Dave that day was he was dressed like Liberace, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't think this guy's gonna. I don't think this guy's gonna hurt anybody. We're gonna take his word that it was a mic stand." Yeah. just, just joking, Dave. I'm just joking. So, folks, make sure you check out all these channels. Check out Dave's guitar channel and Ombeck Pecky Peck channel and Little Alex Erickson's channel and Wolfie's channel, and I can go down the line and line. Check out the Stand channel, crime channel. I even watch No Thanks Doug and Benny Keys. Some of them I sub to, some of them I don't. I just watch them. There is no, and let me state this right off the bat, there is no wrong theory. There is no wrong scenario in a missing kids case, a murder, a kidnapping. There is no wrong scenario or theory because you don't know. So automatically the human mind, could this have happened? Possibly. Could this have happened? Yeah, possibly. Could this have happened? No way. There's no way that could have happened because at that time she was not there and we got her over here on, we got her on video over here at this time. So we know that scenario is impossible. You can't be at two places at the same time, you know. So there is no wrong theory or scenario in anything when it comes to the cover up of a murder of a young girl, you know. So all these people saying, well, that's just crazy or whatever. No, it's out there. It is crazy. But to a killer and the devil, well, that's what they do. Crazy. Look at Chris Watts. Chris Watts killed his whole family, put him in an oil tank, and buried the woman, and then tried to turn around and blame everybody else. And what gets me is the women love him. They write him, send him money, and they talk to him behind bars. And you go into some of these chats, and some of these women still believe that Chris Watts is totally innocent, never killed his wife, never did nothing. When the evidence pointed to it, if Chris Watts was not guilty, do you think Chris Watts would admitted that he got rid of the kids to the police and his family? If he was totally innocent, he would have got a lawyer and said, I didn't do anything. I went to work that day. It don't work that way, folks. We wish it did, but it don't. He killed his daughters and he killed his wife. And what gets me is women think he is sexy and they can't get enough of him. They want to be his next wife. I say they want to be his next victim. And I look at Chris Watts as possibly Chris Watts could have been a serial killer. Some of the sketches out there that they're looking for that people never found kind of look like Chris Watts. He could have been a serial killer. He did travel a lot. He did say that. He had to go to other states and we don't know. But they can't get enough of it. It's like Charlie Manson. Here's a guy that was a cuckoo, but yet women flocked to him. I don't know. Who knew all you had to do was kill your whole family to find love? And that's what's sick about this country and the world we live in. That these people flock to these people that are stone cold killers. They can kill 50, 60 people and sit down with their kids and eat dinner and joke around and crack up like nothing ever happened. I don't know. It's madness. Like a spell. It's like the devil. We know they're evil, but the women flock to them. And the men do the same thing with women. You can tell them, hey, she's a cuckoo. She chopped off a guy's penis while he was sleeping. And these dudes are like, oh, I'm in love with her. Yeah, well, there's our next penis we'll be looking for in the woods. Yeah. I mean, it's mad. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want my kids, my grandkids. I don't want nobody around it. I don't want these people around anyone I know, any friends, any city or anything I live in. I don't want these people around. I don't want to give them a chance to do any kind of crap like that. Could we make this country safe? You bet your butt. But then we'll have everybody underneath the sun whining and crying about their rights. And I don't want to hear it no more. It's exactly what the professional's been saying. We are screwed if we do, and we are screwed if we don't. And the system is broke. And now we are paying the price because they just refuse to revamp, rebuild. And you got madness in the streets. I think the police are afraid of these dudes. I mean, sometimes, I hate to say it, if we don't do something, this country is going to be a third world country. You'll have people taking over streets, buildings, companies. It'll be madhouse. It already is a madhouse. All right, you folks have a great day. These are only my scenarios and my theories. I don't know what happened to Kylie. Rodney. And oh, so many people, but we hope we find out. We hope that there's somebody out there with morals, integrity, that says enough is enough with this madness. We don't care what you folks do in your backyards and in your homes. But when you're out on the street and you're killing, raping, and pillaging, well, something has to be done. The great eye in the sky, we got to start using drones, watching everything. Low flying, high definition mics, and possibly maybe armed drones. Maybe we can stop the madness before it gets worse. You All right, you folks have a great day. Be safe. Oh, check out little pay channel. Check out Jenny Houston's channel. These women, they sing, they dance, they promote channels. They help you get views, subs, whatever. Who else did I? Oh, check out It Matters and their channel, and oh, so many channels. Humanimal. Check out Humanimal's channel, and incredible women and some cool dudes. Check out the Graz channel. Uh, check out these channels. I watch them. They're not all drama and madness and craziness. Uh, yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of people I sub to, and believe it or not, I'm just getting tired of it all. I'm just thinking about going back and doing music videos and Pro Tools videos and stuff like that. I don't know. God bless everybody. Glory all to God for finding Kiely, and thank Adventures with Purpose for finding her. But now all this stuff in Upchurch saying they have a hand in covering up. This is just a zoo. It's a zoo, and I'm starting to think I should have just stopped caring. Who cares? All right, folks. Have a good day. I'll be back later. Is there anything anyone wants to say? Oh, this whole time I've had it on top chat instead of live chat. This is unreal. How come when you go live, it automatically don't go to live chat? That's just you gotta click it to make it go to live chat when you're doing a live stream. I'm using my webcam, so is this even a stream or is it just a live video and only certain people can see it? I don't know. I don't care anymore. It's just I got to get my head straight. I got to get my life straight. I'm living someone else's madness. I don't want it. I don't need it. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe everything they've been telling me is true. You're under demonic attack. People have stole your soul and anointings, and maybe, I don't know. Only God knows. So, God, if you can, America could use a helping hand. It ain't the promised land. We know that already. You know, we hope it ain't the place for Armageddon. But if you're out there, we could use a helping hand. We can use a healing in Jesus' name, of course. And we need a change, a mental change of this madness we've been watching. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? How's that new guitar doing, Rick? I hope the guitar's doing good. I hope you're having a good day. A lot of people are upset out here because they took that card away. That I forget what it's called. Uh, where they give you food, SNAP or whatever. The government stopped the extra money that these people were getting on their food card, and they stopped that in Indiana. And a lot of people are upset about that. They're like, Mike, what do you mean that they're taking away our food? You know, why? I don't know. It's obvious they're not worried about our country. People saying there's food shortages and everything. No, I think it's just they're creating the madness, folks. I think we have witches in America, from what the professionals are saying. You remember Trump's doctor or someone that said, "Man, this is we can cure CV, and we think this is a witch in our it's definitely a witch." This is unbelievable. Witches died thousands of years ago, but I guess not. Trolls, I guess they all came back to life on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe, Lord, if it is a witch, Lord, then deal with the witch. If it is a sorcerer that is working for the devil, then, Lord, in Jesus' name, deal with the sorcerer. I'm starting to believe we might have to use evil to kill the evil. I don't know. It's madness. That's why I like a good woman. You got a good woman, the last thing on your mind is evil. The last thing on your mind is YouTube. When you have a good woman, or or for some of them people out there that might go the other way, you have a good man. You know, YouTube and this madness in the world is the last thing on your mind. So I don't know. All right, you folks have a great day. Be safe. It's a beautiful day out. Boy, it was chilly this morning. Temps are starting to drop. Leaves are starting to turn color, and it's only September. It's not even September yet, is it? It ain't even September yet. And we got colors turning on the leaves, and the leaves are starting to dry up. So, you know, and it was a little nippy out this morning. And it ain't too hot today. Real low humidity, and I don't know. You folks have a good day. Be safe. I'll be back later. Love everybody. Peace. You know, I can go on for days, but then I'll become one of them, a YouTube junkie. I'll talk to you folks later. Thank everybody for stopping in on my channel. Have a good day. Be safe, Ricky. Enjoy that guitar, dude. Enjoy that guitar. Uh, Rick, you got to start taking photos of these guitars and posting them on your channels or at Dave's channel. We want to see these guitars, Ricky. I like looking at guitars. Guitars are like a woman, very beautiful. Very beautiful. You folks have a good day. Be safe. Godspeed. Love everybody. And Lord, forgive us all for all the madness and sins and whatever. In Jesus' name.